from my personal observation, there is a dysfunctioning element in this current cabinet. And the factor is actually it's a personality issue. This is based on my personal observation. Of course, subjective lah, very subjective. I have my own prejudices, but I have to bring this out. The same thing. There will be another issue. It's not Padu. Next 3 months there will be something else. So in order to settle this, so I really think that Rafizi should review on his characteristics. His character, his personalities, because I think he is the root cause of. He's the mother of all problems. Current problems. Okay, you have to hear me out. Okay, this is not a.
This is quite personal to me. Hi everyone, welcome to In the Middle podcast once again. And today, our special guest would be Kelly Ting. Welcome
Hi.
to the podcast.
Hello,
and
Neo.
to those, I think many of you may have known Kelly, and Kelly is now pursuing her masters of public policy.
Yeah.
In
University of Malaya.
Yeah, University Malaya. So today, I think we're gonna discuss on something related to what you are pursuing. It's all about public policy, and these days, many people have been talking about Padu. Padu
Hot
system.
topic.
Hot topic. One of the hottest topics in town is Padu. So I think there are pros and cons. Definitely, there are people who really think that this Padu system is good for the government to really integrate our system as we are moving towards digital age.
Yeah.
We want to digitalize all the information, synchronize everything. But meanwhile, there are some concerns raised by the public and particularly on the security side. What do you think about it?
I think we need to address why are there so many problems in the development of Padu. Yeah. And because in public policy, right, if we try to assess a public issue, we would do all sorts of a root cause analysis. So maybe we do the fishbone diagram. So we will break it down into various categories. We try to find what is actually the problem that's causing it. So I would categorize it into a few categories. The first one would be it's the aspect of data security, yeah, which is the concern of everybody. Yeah, everybody is worried about the leakage of our personal information. Not our strength. Yeah, it is a progressing effort, but it is definitely still not our best strength. Yeah.
Speaking of security, system security, I think Rafizi Ramli has mentioned that the Padu system development is being led by actually our National Digital Department and closely collaborates and with various agencies, including our National Cybersecurity and data privacy.
Yeah.
So I think that is to answer on the security concerns.
Yeah.
But of course, it's those agencies will be under the
Digital Ministry, right?
yeah, but it's under close monitoring of Chief Government of Security Officer, National Cybersecurity Agency, Cybersecurity, Department of Personal Data Protection, and of course Ministry of Communication and Ministry of Digital. But nevertheless, how are we going to really protect? Because I think recently it was mentioned by one of the Sarawakian or Sarawak leaders mentioning that Padu is basically like you are opening up your own privacy and data to public, and until now the question is that the main concern is that the government through Rafizi Ramli has not really addressed this concern.
Yes. That's the problem. He has not answered people's worries and concerns. And I remember last week, I just came across his town hall session. It was a live session done by his ministry. And one of the questions posed by one of the attendees, but he couldn't answer it. It's the same question, but he answered it in a way he says, oh, no major company could actually give you the guarantee that your data with them will not be breached. So in other way,
indirectly,
he says that there will be no guarantee from the government that your data will not be breached. So he cannot give that personal or cannot give that governmental guarantee. So that is the main concern of everybody.
Yep.
Like you mentioned, like even Sabah, Sarawak leaders, they have all sorts of concerns, but they wanted a firm answer. And then it comes back to this, because you mentioned we have Malaysia Cyber Security. We have all sorts of agencies,
Yep.
under the digital ministry. Mm-hmm. Now it's under the minister, the newly appointed minister, Gobind Singh. So now here comes another question. This actually is another category of this problem. So why is economics minister helming Padu instead of digital minister?
Well, of course, there is economic element in this program. Mm-hmm. Basically, the government's objective is to garner or gather information so that they can implement policy through subsidies, targeted
groups, subsidies,
and so on. Nevertheless, the main concern. We go back to the main concern is that the security breach that really public has not really gotten this assurance. At least I think maybe the ministry or the minister himself should really explain in depth to the people, to the public, on the initiative that will be taken to reduce the risk of data leakage, or to ensure that the privacy protection of Padu will be the highest priority of all.
No. So the answer actually is already there. They couldn't. they couldn't guarantee it. And if I want to point out, this was published in the Star. The cybersecurity company Surfshark, this was quoted by the Star paper. The company has ranked Malaysia as the 8th most breached country in terms of data breach among 200 over countries.
Yeah.
The 8th.
That's
Nombor 8. Among 200 over countries, we are nombor 8.
That's why we, I think very, very often everyone will experience a random call from all kind of telemarketers, scammers, and so on, because this data leakage is one of the concerns really.
Yeah, and the data, this problem, we have to go back to the PDPA section. I want to go into another category of this problem, which is the legality of Padu. What gives its legal provision? Because in PDPA, if you look at section 3(1), it actually exempts federal and state government from the application of PDPA. So everybody has been saying,
hold on, what is PDPA? Maybe some people might ask.
Personal Data Protection Act.
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody is saying that actually we had a good plan, initially. Rafizi did say they want to table the Omnibus Act. What is Omnibus Act? They want to consolidate database among all ministries because every ministry they have their own database, and every database in each ministry is governed by their own act Yeah? So there is, if you want to, let's say MOF, you want to use data from, let's say, the women's ministry, you cannot just use, So, but there is a way to do it, which is by tabling this omnibus bill. So
basically, the intention is just to integrate the whole national data system.
Yeah, a consolidation effort.
Yep.
So if you just go through the normal way, it feels like Padu is a redundancy act, you know. It feels like, because in Parliament, I think 2 days ago, I think Rafizi Ramli also has answered that actually they have all existing data in the government database.
Yep.
So the question going back to him again, so why do you need the people to re-register everything? I think there are a total of 39 questions in the Padu system.
That is another concern why we have to create another system using public fund to
You know how much or not? You know how much or not?
Yeah.
80 million.
Yes.
80 million.
So what is the point of having this again? But of course, the minister has explained because of some may have not been updated, just to make sure that the information is accurate and so on. But there are still many following questions.
A lot of questions
to
you
that
cannot answer.
explanation, I guess, and that has led to the very low percentage of registration up to date, I guess.
But it's climbing up.
Yeah.
I think towards now we only have few days left. The closing date is what?
31st of
31st of March. So we have a few days left. I think it's climbing up because, okay, now the question is, the way he attracts people to register for Padu is by telling people, if you want to be a recipient of our targeted subsidy, you must register.
Yes.
So this comes off a bit negative lah, because if we see how Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman, he said, he's from Sarawak. So he said, registering with Padu, I quote him, registering with Padu was akin, means is something like exposing all of one's personal details, including your investment and bank accounts. I don't think that is the proper way to treat citizens. All of us have a right to privacy. Betul juga kan?
Yeah. Because one of the questions, or one of the part that you need to fill is your debt. It means how much you owe, from where. You have to fill up. That information to me is quite very private.
Very exposing.
Yeah. And sometimes I think some people don't even share with their family members, of their debt. And so this is something that, and what it has to do with the targeted subsidies. These are the concerns, the public concerns that I think the ministry or minister has to address.
Adding on to this, he was asked about this. He was asked that, okay, because now you're expecting people to fill in all particulars. Let's say, I'm going to tell you, I have one car, my car installment is how much, my house installment is how much, okay, I have that, all sorts of things. Okay, so people ask him, I think Wee Ka Siong asked him in Parliament, so how would you clarify, how would you verify that the information provided is accurate? Then, Rafizi answered Wee Ka Siong. He said, actually we have a way to verify, because we have all existing data in our various databases. So here comes another question. So
yes.
what is the reason of you doing the same thing again? I want to bring in another one. Okay, this one, this reason is in all sorts of other platforms. Got people question. Because we know Rafizi Ramli actually founded Invoke.
Okay.
You know not?
Yeah.
Okay? Invoke is quite famous among politicians. It's quite famous. So what does Invoke do? Invoke is a data company Data center. They have a lot of data. They provide data-driven marketing services. Okay, so we are concerned about the aspect of vested interest. I'm not trying to imply that maybe it's relevant. So there's also pros and cons So seeing that Rafizi has the experience, right? He's a data guy. So okay, the pro is, he will be a good person to to do this Padu job lah. But there's also the negative aspect lah.
It will lead to actually misperception by the public. It might be a conflict of interest kind of thing. So it's true that
So, but he has to take into account, if let's say he has to address all sorts of concerns, because you must expect all concerns will come out from everywhere. Like let's say it's not that until this stage, few days until the closing day, then only now you want to fly to Sarawak to explain to the Sarawak government. Before you started implementing the registration process, you should have went to each state. Make sure that each state leaders, they understand the purpose of doing it. So at that time itself, they would have just provided you the feedbacks, what are their concerns. Then you would just preempted all this. You cannot just assume that, I'm an economics minister now. I have a very noble target. So you all have to listen to me. No, I tell you, it's not. It doesn't run that way.
Yeah.
So he comes to another factor.
Yeah. So that means another part is that the consultation process, whether we are rushing into the implementation of the system, because I think it was first introduced, launched in I think early January, and given within 2 to 3 months they want to conclude all this Padu system for the full implementation. But I think what Kelly mentioned was public needs time to build public confidence, to get to know more about how it will benefit the public. Because at the end of the day, this is a government policy that is being implemented to help the people. So through these targeted subsidies and aids and so on. So I think I really hope, like many leaders have called for this Padu system to be extended, the deadline to be extended, so that I think it's fair call, where I think it will give space to the ministry to really study into the main issues, the main concerns of the public, and meanwhile the public will also have enough room to get more input and more explanation, especially those concerns that raised by them. That I think the government should really consider extending the deadline to allow this.
The root cause of this problem, and in order to prevent similar problems going to come out, because this is it. From my personal observation, there is a dysfunctioning element in this current cabinet. And the factor is actually, it's a personality issue. This is based on my personal observation. Of course, subjective lah, very subjective. I have my own prejudices, but I have to bring this out, because in order for a government to really, you have to roll down your programs efficiently. We must go into the root cause. You must settle the root cause. Like PM has to settle the root cause, because if not, the same thing. There will be another issue. It's not Padu. Next 3 months there will be something else. So in order to settle this, so I really think that Rafizi should review on his characteristics. His character, his personalities, because I think he is the root cause of, he's the mother of all problems, current problems. Okay, you have to hear me out. Okay, this is not a...
This is quite personal to me.
This is not...
Yeah, well.
Never mind. I mean, I can be personal with him, but whatever, okay? So he started off as the economics minister. And then, if we know what does economic ministry does, it was the EPU, Economic Planning Unit. It was supposed to, it's a macro view level policy making. You make policies that is long term. So what are their products? Their products is Malaysia Plan. Every 5 years, they're gonna roll down. Okay, the next 5 years, what are we gonna do? And then, like every government budget, they will take care of the development expenditure part. Yeah. So major programs, we call it DE lah. Yeah, OE and DE, they will take care of DE part. Okay. So that's it. They provide consultancy because it's at macro level. But the thing, because of his personal trait, I think he enjoys the eyeballs. He enjoys the being the spotlight, and then being an economist.
Every politician will enjoy that.
No, really. There are people who we never see in the news also.
Okay.
So, like, economic minister is not the right position to get a lot of eyeballs because it's always the back end work. You maybe come out every 5 years to launch your Malaysia plan, but is he satisfied with that kind of role being given to him? My personal observation, nope. He went ahead and he tried to create other values to prove his relevance in the cabinet. You can see, I want to tell y'all about, y'all remember the beginning of NETR, the National Energy Transformation Roadmap. Okay, so NETR is about energy transformation, right? So it is under the purview of, back then it was NRECC. Now, NRECC also further divided into 2 different ministries. Yeah. So previously, at that point of time, at the roll down of NETR, NRECC minister was Nick Nasmi. You remember? So from the perspective of an outsider, actually I wondered why, NETR, how come the main custodian of NETR is not the minister of NRECC, but the minister of economics? Actually, okay, never mind. So we just let it, pass. You can see, if you go to the NETR, the whole file, you can see the main message is the PM, and then it's Rafizi. So I still cannot find Nick Nasmi's face lah. So that's it. Because Nick Nasmi is also from Keadilan. So, I mean, from a politics perspective, we won't hijack our friends' project. I would be happy for my friends if, let's say, if Nick Nasmi was my friend, he's a colleague. Maybe they are colleagues, right, in the same cabinet. If your friend's ministry has a major roadmap coming out, you will let him enjoy all the spotlight that he can have. But instead, he took that away from Nick Nasmi, So this is on a personal level. Actually, there's also very many personal relationships in the politics circle. To maintain good relationships, you need to know when you need to stand down, when you need to give we always say politicians, they all like to rebut the center, in the middle. They want to stand in the middle. So it's the same thing. If you go and try to get all the spotlight, then people will be, I don't know, but maybe Nick Nasmi doesn't feel that way. But when it comes to Padu, it's a reoccurrence, because at the beginning, did I tell you that Padu Padu should be under the helm of digital ministry, shouldn't be under economics ministry. He can be co-helm it, but he shouldn't be the main custodian, because economics ministry, you should give a macro view. You can give consultancy, but you let them take helm of the projects. If the same thing happens again, he's going to hijack other ministries' projects as well. Because if you see, just now I purposely went to the website of economic ministry. So if we go inside, you can also go inside the website, because in governments, the executive level, right, every ministry you have your role, your mission, your vision. You all just go inside any ministry. There is a bunch of their history, vision, mission, function. So this economics ministry, they are in charge of socio-economic development planning, allocating resources, coordination, monitoring, but they have added one more function for themselves. I don't know when they added this lah. Formulate policies, formulate policies related to energy, namely oil and gas. Later maybe they can edit and let you all see. Formulate policies related to energy, namely oil and gas. What does energy policies has to do particularly with the economics ministry? If the same logic applies, everything else also included in economics ministry. We don't need other ministry already. Now, for your information, now energy ministry also has splitted lah. NRECC has splitted out. Mm-hmm. So Nick Nasmi now is taking care of the. He's taking care of not only the natural resources, NREC, and then energy transitioning and water transformation has been is under the helm of our Deputy Prime Minister, Fadila Yusof. Mm-hmm. Correct? Yeah. So this is the root cause of Padu, but we have to look at this issue beyond Padu. It's not the issue about Padu.
But if I may bring back to this topic today, I think the public concern is and our discussion is really on how we can improve the system. I think if we want to really draw the attention of public towards the issues, I think there are so many existing issues that the government needs to look into it. But I think that is the process for the government to really look into it and improve or transform from time to time. But on Padu itself, on Padu data security itself, people are asking, why? Why do I need to register in a new system where there are existing databases such as IKASE, such as Department of Social Welfare and Rahmah cash contribution.
Sumbangan tunai Rahmah.
Yeah, okay. And these are the things that are already there that people are enjoying from the current systems. And why do they need to come up with another system to register, giving more information, private information, including the loans, debts, and so on? These are the questions.
Yeah.
And that is what really Rafizi Ramli has to look into it and really try to improve. I mean, there's no point of arguing what is good, what is not, but really into the implementation.
You know what leads to all these problems? If we do one action all these things can be won't appear. If Padu was being tabled in Parliament, all the debates take place first, because up until now, Padu is nothing but merely a ministerial program which has very limited amount of legality. So if you're lawyers, you all please comment, please give us the aspect from a legal point of view. Actually, what kind of source of authority does Padu even has? You know?
But you see the subject. I mean, the objective of the Padu is, well, on the targeted aid and subsidies, improve policy making and increase government efficiency. These are the main objectives that have been told to the public. But again, are we heading into the right direction to achieve this?
Okay, Neo, the objective, no matter how noble it is, it doesn't justify the means, This is public policy, government policy. It's not that you say, I'm going to tell you now, this is very important for you, so we're going to do this way. No. This is government policy. Government policy has its own procedures. That's why we have Parliament. It's not about whether you can justify. You can justify all you want. You are the minister. You can justify. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm proposing to do. But the function of parliament, the function of our members of parliament there to debate about this problem, to bring out the problems before this thing roll out, this thing roll down, you know. So because they do it, they didn't follow the sequence. They should have just tabled the omnibus bill or even this Padu. Because if you table it as a bill in the parliament, it has all the source of authority, legal authority. Then people won't even question. You think we can question? We won't even question it today. So the same thing. So I tell you, Nyo, this is what we're discussing today. The core problem is not Padu. The core problem is there's an element of dysfunction in the cabinet.
Okay.
So what I'm saying here, I'm saying it from a very positive point of view. It's a very sincere one, you know. I want this cabinet to perform. I want the cabinet to perform because it's for the benefit of everybody. We don't want to be dealing with a problem over and over again. Every day the newspaper, the front page also same thing. But what's the point? Yeah, we should focus on generating economy. It's not that the same thing. This kind of problem? It should be a problem. This doesn't even qualify as a problem. If you do it according to the sequence of the system, it won't be a problem today. Yeah. So the essence, the message that I want to bring out today is, do it properly.
Yep.
Do it properly. Regardless of what your objective, whatever it is, do it the proper way. Then you can avoid all sorts of, if not, we're going to deal with all sorts of new things. Every month we got new things to debate already.
True. Thank you so much, Kelly, for your views, very honest, frank discussion we had. And I think the message is clear. Although I think Economy Minister Rafizi have said that he has no plans to extend the central database Padu deadline to beyond 31st of March because he said that it will cost further additional 2 billion per month in fuel subsidy. That means he is trying to conclude everything so that the new policy on the targeted subsidy can be implemented to avoid wastage, to avoid misuse by different groups of people, especially from the T20, who principally are not entitled.
I'm so worried about the expensive fuel.
But there are things, there are technical terms and things that I think the government needs to address. Nevertheless, the system, the intention is good. The system is to help the poor, but there are so many things that need to be addressed, not only by the minister, but the ministry and the whole cabinet for the betterment of the country. So we leave it to the good hands of Minister Rafizi Ramli, and we hope soon we will receive some good news. People will be more convinced. I think the data now is about 8 million to date. I think with few more days left, and they're expecting drastic increase in the final days. But I think until then, the government has to come up with all these valid solutions to those concerns. So, well, thank you for staying up with us, and till we see each other again.